Patrick Mahomes' stats have slowly been slipping the last few seasons, and so far this year, they have completely cratered. His 59 completion percentage ranks 28th. His 6.4 yards per attempt ranks 18th. He hasn't just started the season slow. No, this decline has been building for years. The rest of the Chiefs' offense is plenty to blame. Travis Kelce's been declining. Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy are not available. This Chiefs offense can barely score, they can barely move the ball, but still, the numbers for arguably the greatest quarterback in NFL history are shocking. If we take a closer look, these are all problems that have been there and have been festering. The Chiefs face 2 high safety coverages at one of the highest rates in the league, yet can't run the ball. They can't protect Mahomes. They have no ability to win outside, no deep passing game, no intermediate passing game. It all began in 2020 when defenses shifted their entire strategy against them, and 5 years later, here we are. The Chiefs are 1-2, 22nd in points scored, and statistically, Mahomes is in the bottom tier of quarterbacks in the league. Before we dive deeper into this slow erosion of the Chiefs offense, I want to thank this week's sponsor, Football Head Coach. Football Head Coach is the ultimate football management game with real NFLPA licensed players. Some of you might remember Football Head Coach sponsored a video a few years ago. Well, this year's version looks even better. And while the graphics are great, the gameplay is at a whole nother level. My favorite part is opening Future Star and Internationals packs where you can start to build out your squad. Then when you want to start developing that team chemistry, getting clubhouse guys to make this thing gel, you can go through in-game player trade challenges, you can get limited time rewards and special items which are a blast, and you can customize your strategy completely. There are also weekend leagues, transfer markets, you can open packs, all things to make your team better until it's finally time to cook. It is so fun seeing your team rapidly get better, and now it's time for action. Here we are ready for our first game, Catch the Energy, on Mamas. We got Jordan Love slinging the rock, Jonathan Taylor running through a motherfucker's face. The team is bombs away. I'm locked into football 24/7, and when there are no games on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, it feels like an eternity. I'm plugging into Football Head Coach. The visuals are clear and vibrant, the game is fun to play, and I can't stop opening packs and upgrading my team. Right now, you can scan the QR code to download Football Head Coach 26 for free on the app or Play Store, or also click the link in the description. It all started back in Week 12 of 2020. Mahomes vs. the Bucs, a preview of Super Bowl 55. The Chiefs were setting off their usual offensive fireworks show, Tyreek Hill deep, Travis Kelce short and intermediate, and check out how the Buccaneers have just one high safety. Back in 2013, the Legion of Boom started a league-wide just one high safety trend, which lasted for almost a decade, where the entire league just played predominantly one deep coverages, trying to replicate one of the greatest defenses of all time. This meant Tyreek Hill was often singled up one-on-one. With one high safety, if you bring that guy over the top of him, you're basically leaving all other options uncapped. But with 2 high safeties, the vertical routes are more easily capped without giving up too much elsewhere in coverage, so you can put one over the top of each receiver to either side, limit the deep passing game, and this is the exact moment when Mahomes' stats started to slip. According to Next Gen Stats, in 2021, Mahomes saw more 2 deep safety coverages than any other quarterback in the league, and it was the first signs of him slowing down for the first time in his career. His yards per attempt dropped from 8.1 in 2020 to 7.4, and because the Chiefs didn't have a viable, aggressive down-the-field answer to attack these new coverages, they instead created this passive underneath role for Tyreek Hill, a role we've seen Rashee Rice take over, Xavier Worthy for a sec when he went down, but Tyreek, the deep ball game wrecker, was not happy in it. His average depth of target dropped 2 full yards, his production slipped a bit, and either he was pissed that the Chiefs put him in this weird passive short role, or the Chiefs realized he wasn't valuable enough in this new role to justify paying him all that money, so they shipped him to Miami, where he promptly had back-to-back 1,700-yard seasons. Now, don't get me wrong, since he left, they've been to 3 Super Bowls and won 2, but objectively, their offense has become less productive, they've become more and more condensed towards the line of scrimmage, and they've thrown deep less and less. With those 2 safeties deep, running the ball is the natural counter. Yet, ever since Kareem Hunt left the first time in 2018, the running game with Mahomes has weirdly never been good. When defenses drop this second safety back, this creates a huge advantage in the run game. You're taking one of these defenders and bringing him back deep, which leaves less guys in the box who can tackle the running back, so this is the cat and mouse game that is football. Offense pass deep, switch to 2 high, then offense run good, so switch to 1 high, and on and on. But instead of punishing defenses, pushing back against their counters, the Chiefs got weirdly passive and settled into attacking the spaces underneath. Enter Travis Kelce. Since Pro Football Reference started collecting data in 2018, Kelce's average depth of target has fallen literally every single year. Defenses move their guys deep, Kelce and Mahomes, and then whoever this underneath receiver is, zeroed in on creating ultra-efficient offense underneath. Instead of deep bombs down the field like we were accustomed to, Mahomes tapped into his Tom Brady hyper-efficient rip teams up in the spacing underneath, and Kelce became his primary weapon. Mahomes completely changed his playstyle to a 2-pronged approach: dominate as a quick game passer and extend the play and find Kelce. And in 2022, the Chiefs' offense exploded. Mahomes won MVP, 5,200 passing yards, 41 touchdowns, and Kelce had one of his best seasons ever: 110 catches, 1,300 yards, and 12 touchdowns. But then 2023 began. Kelce finally started showing signs of wearing down at age 34, where in 2022, when he was good, he broke 13 tackles, but then in 2023, 24, and this year combined, he's broken just 7. With him wearing down, he's stopped being their go-to for explosive plays. At the beginning of 2023, the Chiefs drafted Rashee Rice, who's filled this underneath Tyreek Hill role, and he broke out for 7 touchdowns in his rookie season. But he's been injured or suspended. Now Worthy's injured too. So here we are in 2025 with the Chiefs just left with Kelce's old non-breaking tackle ass and not much else. He used to be the guy you could design concepts for, have him win isolated matchups one-on-one, have him use his surprising speed to get him downfield vertical on play action, but now he's just more of a move the chains type security blanket, not the dominant number 1 guy he used to be. Over time, the Chiefs slowly morphed into a quick game offense like I said. Because of how condensed they were towards the line of scrimmage, they focused on scheme and execution on 3rd downs and in the red zone, and then they've always had Mahomes been able to extend the play. But without Rice underneath, with Kelce aging, and their offensive line slowly deteriorating throughout the years, defenses can compress down towards the line even more and suffocate the quick game. Mahomes doesn't trust his protection enough to sit in the pocket and attack the intermediate area. This year he's only throwing the ball 10 to 19 yards down the field 11.4% of the time. That's 35th highest. And that goes for his deep ball too, where he's completing just 27% of his deep passes, 26th highest. That was awful last year too. And in the past, when he's extended the play, that's when it was Kelce time. But with Kelce washed, Mahomes just has run and run and run. The way to fix all of this is, as I said, establish the running game. You're almost always running into super light boxes with 2 high safeties. But the Chiefs, and the channel OGers know this, operate almost exclusively out of shotgun, where it's much harder to have a wider diversity of run concepts since the running back's starting right next to the quarterback. So to get some of that diversity, the Chiefs run outside zone, counter, but these are concepts where the running back doesn't start downhill, he starts towards the side, which negates the advantage you gain from the second safety starting deep. By the time Isaiah Pacheco is getting to the line of scrimmage, the safety is already there to blow up the play. For Mahomes to bounce back, obviously Rashee Rice will help, but in my opinion, he's a band-aid to the problem. He doesn't fix anything, he's just back into the passive underneath role. For this to be fixed, Mahomes needs to push the ball down the field more effectively from the pocket, where, for example, he has Kelce on this out route, which he typically would hit. This is not the issue. But since he doesn't like it, Mahomes is smart enough to know this is 2 high safeties. It's all defenses play against him, so he needs to anticipate this open space through the middle where Hollywood Brown is running this read-through route and hit him before it's too late. Or like later in the game, it's literally the same play. This means Andy Reid likes this play against this coverage, and he's calling it again because he knows Mahomes missed it. But once again, Mahomes doesn't take the read-through route up the seam to Hollywood. And look, I get it. His protection has eroded throughout the last few years, so he doesn't trust it. But this is a good pocket he can sit in, then push the ball through the intermediate part of the field. Bad protection is always going to affect the quarterback, especially consistently bad protection. But still, one thing that's really worried me for several years now, he has wildly inaccurate throws to wide open receivers, sometimes from clean pockets, wide open guys. But he's dirting the ball, overthrowing the ball, not things you'd expect from arguably the greatest quarterback of all time. There are still a lot of moments of his usual brilliance. That is obviously still there, but just enough bad throws where you start to say, something is up here. Of course, it's not easy to carry a team with limited talent, and then without your 1 and 2 options at receiver, even though I'm not sold on Worthy, nobody is going to play awesome. But this is a continuous multi-year trend we've seen from a quarterback and coach with sky-high expectations, where the QB's been playing mediocre. Mahomes obliterated the NFL with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce when the league was in one high safety mode, but then defenses adjusted. This threw the Chiefs off for about a year, then they fully adjusted to the 2 high world and Mahomes went scorched earth in 2022. But then Kelce began to fade, and Mahomes' numbers have gotten worse and worse. The last 2 years has been on the back of the Chiefs' defense, but now the offense has gotten to a point where things are really bad. Hopefully Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy make the difference when they're both back, but Rice is still going to be plugged right back into this passive underneath role, which he's great at, but this still means the Chiefs won't be aggressively attacking defenses down the field. However, one thing is for sure, they still have what I believe will go down as the greatest quarterback of all time, with arguably the greatest coach of all time. So if anybody can turn everything around, it's 2 of the best we have ever seen.